Hello everyone and welcome back to round 13 of our F125 LH44 career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here at the Belgian Grand Prix, of course, back at the iconic Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. Of course, if you missed out on the last video that went live a few days ago from Silverstone, I would highly recommend going back and checking out. It was a rather incredible race, actually, between myself and Lando Norris, but sadly, it would be our fellow Brit that would claim the victory. We went for a dive bomb at the very last corners of the Grand Prix, but sadly, through didn't go Hamilton in that scenario. So it means that Lando now has a 21-point lead at the top of the table, but we have won 3 of the last 5 Grand Prix. So I would still make the argument that we have got a lot of momentum behind us. Charles Leclerc, a further 7 points back. Max Verstappen not too far out of the championship fight either. And then a little bit of a drop back to Tsunoda, Piastri, and George Russell. Constructors-wise, Ferrari now 13 ahead of McLaren, though. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to be able to try and win both championships over the course of this season. Of course, if you're new around here and you aren't already, please do make sure you get yourself subscribed. At the time we're recording, we are mighty close to 13k subs on the channel. But just as importantly as that, I normally stream these races live over on my Twitch channel on Tuesdays, so there'll be a link to that down in the description as well. We're trying to hit 10k followers over on Twitch before the end of 2025, so it'd be greatly appreciated if you could help us get one step closer. But yeah, of course, Belgium though, it's a sprint weekend, it's going to be a long one, so let's just get straight into qualifying. 200 miles an hour on the entry to Blanchimont. We've got a pretty quick machine under us, especially in a straight line. Purple sector 1, green sector 2. A little bit tidy through that final corner, but power down towards the line, and we go to the top of the board. Still got a few quicker cars behind me though, but happy with that immediately. Still 3/10 up at the moment though. Oh, just got in there. Dirty error, Lance Stroll. No, Lance, move. Come on, man. What's he doing? What is that? How can you move across me? Well, there we are then. Oscar Piastri by just 6 1/1000ths of a second. He will claim pole. Ready for the sprint race here in Belgium. We will line up second. Charles Leclerc just ahead of Verstappen there, and both Williams on the third row ahead of our World Championship leader Lando Norris. Tsunoda just ahead of Gasly and George Russell. Kimi Antonelli down in P16. That's disappointing for him. And Alonso in a Sauber sandwich. But let's see what we can do as we head into the sprint. Right, here we are then. Down on the grid, ready for the Belgian Grand Prix. Looking forward to this one. 15 laps ahead of us, though. So it is going to be a decent length sprint race here. We could see a safety car. Doesn't look like we're going to get any changeable conditions, though, which is absolutely fantastic. Oscar Piastri on the pole. Everybody on the mediums. It is 5 red lights. There's the lights out, and away we go then. Leclerc immediately getting a much better start than me.
Okay, we're monitoring somewhere on the internal combustion engine.
Well, that's not good. Team should have warned me about that before we got into this race, because I could have taken some grid penalties. We might have to take some grid penalties, then ready for the main event. Maybe this will become a last question mark challenge, but already then, to make our way out onto the Kemmel Straight. Leclerc trying to sit close to Oscar Piastri there, but no, we might get the run on him. He's going to have a look to the inside. Oh, Oscar! Big aggressive block in towards the corner, and well, we will try and make it. Just see what, if we could throw off Leclerc's line there ever so slightly. Not going to be able to do that. There's already a big gap opening up behind Verstappen, with Lando Norris there struggling to keep pace through the early laps. But we've done alright then off the start. We've lost 1 place, but that's to our teammate. Of course, Ferrari, we've got to be focusing on the Constructors' Championship as well. And obviously Lando, pretty dismal qualifying for the sprint. If he had the same bad luck in the main event, then, I mean, we could theoretically leave Belgium with the World Championship lead. Not looking forward to Hungary next time out, but you never know. So I keep forgetting, of course, Verstappen isn't like the main threat in this series. It's really odd. This seems to be the only series I've had on F125 where McLaren have actually been pretty good from the get-go. Like, I seem to have followed a pattern so far in F125 that Verstappen normally starts the year well and then Ferrari close in. And McLaren are kind of just mediocre throughout. Has Leclerc already lost... Ugh! Already lost the DRS to Oscar there, as he's going to try and immediately go for a little bit of a late block on me, but we make it through. We're back up into P2 then. That's good news. There we go then. We've already potentially got Leclerc out of the DRS range, as Verstappen seems to have dropped back in towards Norris's clutches, so not too sure what's going on there. Not too worried if Leclerc does just about hang on in the range, which I think he will. To be honest, if anything, I'd rather drag him along a bit more. I know he's another big championship threat, but as we're hopefully about to get the run on Oscar Piastri then to the outside of the Australian, and up then into P1. We lost a place lap 1 up the Kemmel Straight. We've gained one the other 2 laps. I hope I can win a Create Series race at some point. Whether it's on F125 or further down the line, I've got no idea, but I'd love to win one day. You'd probably have like 15k subs now. But he was just too late to the party on F125. No. Surely not. Not a lap after I mentioned a mechanical failure. Are we going to get one? Or is it just going to be DRS? Are we... Do I need to be concerned, chat? I'm scared. This has never happened to me on F125. Please, no engine failure. Oh, why is Leclerc going backwards as well? What's happened to Charles?
Okay,
it's happened!
We're going to have to ask you to find a safe spot to retire.
It's actually happened on F125!
We need you to retire as soon as possible.
First ever mechanical failure! I genuinely didn't think we could get one on this game. I cannot believe it. Dominating this race. And it is over. I really hope that's not going to open up the floodgates, but Belgian GP Sprint, we are out of it. And, well, I thought I was going to have to take some engine penalties heading into the Grand Prix. We definitely are now. Yeah, like, well, actually, you say that about Jarno. He does obviously still a fair amount of practice, absolutely. But you got to remember, of course, he just streams. He's got someone that does all of his YouTube work for him. And also, of course, like, when he's actually trying to go for F1 esports and stuff, he then makes no content for weeks on end. Right. What do the team think about the strategy? I don't want to do that. I'm going to start on hards and just take them as far into the Grand Prix as we can, sensibly, I reckon. I think that's going to be the play today. How far does it reckon you could go? It reckons you could do basically the entire race on one set of hards, which would be absolutely wild. Maldo, thank you for the follow, buddy. Welcome on in. You've come at just the right time, because we are ready for the Belgian Grand Prix. I do not need that much spare fuel. In fact, I'm not convinced we're going to need much at all, but with some slightly changeable conditions, who knows what will happen. 44 more laps ahead of us then, here of the Belgian Grand Prix. It is 5 red lights. There's the lights out. Oh, and away we wheel spin there. I'm not expecting to get a good start. I just want to keep it clean and tidy down at turn 1. And I'm hoping that we can get through this one without a mechanical failure. Agile there. Oh, just nice and tidy. We've got to be so careful trying to get temperature into the tyres. As Ocon's up to P2, ladies and gents. We could legitimately see Haas leading this race early on. As everybody winds their way up through a Rouge and Radion. You can feel how much the car understeers with all the fuel on board. But yeah, we've kept it clean and tidy off the start. That's the most important bit. As long as I don't lose my wing. There's Lawson there and Bortoletto getting the elbows out. Isaac Hadjar forced to watch on. Oh, that was close. Easy does it. Nice and tidy. Oh, a little bit of understeer. Sorry, Isaac. Just give him a bit of a squeeze out. Bortoletto and Lawson still side by side. So we make our way down the hill. This won't go well, surely. Have I done it? There you go. 3 wide into Puon works, apparently. Whoa, why are we all moving to the inside line, lads? What do they know that I don't? Gaz is just trying to dive bomb Doohan. As I'm trying to get dive bombed by Lawson. I can't imagine the soft tyres will work that well here. That was not what I intended to do. We'll go 3 wide with the Alpine through 1. Apparently I can only do double overtakes. This is the thing with, like, doing F1 esports, is you, like, the level you have to be at to chase perfection. Whoa! Whoa! Come on, lads, it's only lap 2. We're gonna go for another double overtake. Thank you. There we go. Beautiful. So I can only do double overtakes then. That's the new rule inside this race. Apart from Hajar. And I get that they tried to do a bit more, like, tweaks and changes to it for this year. But I don't think, like, even in Creative Series, we're seeing that more and more. Esteban Ocon and I believe that's Oscar Piastri have ran away at the front. We might legitimately see Esteban Ocon take the lead of this Grand Prix, ladies and gents. He's up the Kemmel Straight. He's actually going to do it, I think. Esteban Ocon in his Haas to the lead at the Belgian Grand Prix. Surely not. I think he's done it. There's Verstappen down in P10. Ocon through and up in a P1. Is he going to try and go around the outside of Nico Hülkenberg? Oh, still struggling on these hard tyres early on. But we'll get the elbows out and we'll make it through. And Ron Hard just hasn't really quite worked that out. Well, I'm sure he knows that. Sorry, that's unfair. But he just kind of never really has done anything to rectify it. So people are always going to work against him. Why are the AI so slow up Eau Rouge? Like, why are they so unbelievably slow? So Leclerc's now closed in on Piastri. And Ocon, of course. We're going to get a huge run on Max. Goodbye. Lovely playing with you. Oh, no, he's going to swipe me for some reason. Not quite sure why.
Okay, good work. Great pass.
Can we get close enough to Albon? No. I was honestly a little bit gutted when the rain came to an end. Adam and Infratic we were closing in on rather rapidly.
Use your overtake button for more power. We need to push.
Thank you, Alex. So there's a bit of a gap ahead of Russell. But we're still averaging almost... Oh, here we go. Fernando getting ballsy. Let's see what happens here against two of my former teammates. Thank you. Goodbye. Easy. How many double overtakes have I done so far in this race? Are you signing up to go full time next season, chappers? Oh, here we go. Yellows. Who's that breaking down? If it's... Oh, no, it's Charles! Another Ferrari engine goes bang. What on earth is happening this weekend to the Ferraris, man?
Clear, green flag.
That is disappointing for Charlie boy. I don't think I've ever seen an AI breakdown there. But our teammate then, the first retirement out of the main event after we were the first retirement in the sprint race. And that's giving Esteban Ocon a little bit of room to breathe again ahead of Oscar Piastri. People are taking it quite serious, but every race has still had chaos. Like, obviously, we had the final lap in Vegas. The Infratic incident in Jeddah. Obviously, Monza, where we got involved. The Chaos Lap 1 at Imola. Belgium, obviously, had the controversy as well. A lot of them seem to involve Infratic, I've just realised.
Okay, nice work. Really
Another double overtake.
target,
Thank you. As Ocon has just lost the lead back to Oscar Piastri. Yeah, the incident was quite funny. I've never really spoken to either of them before Create Series. Sorry, Esteban. Kai annoyed me a bit with his attempt at Monza on me. Because he was there going, oh, you should have left me space. I was there going, you're like a competent league racer. 3 wide into that corner was never going to work. And he was like, oh, but the content.
Great work. That's a new fastest lap.
I was like, the content was you ruined Vince and I's race. And we were going to have a good battle to the end, but... Have you made any new friends from CS? I kind of knew most people that were doing it anyway. But now I'm kind of speaking to a few of them a bit more. Right, are we going to make the move for the lead then, ladies and gents? After 10 laps here. It has been one of the most hilarious races so far. We'll go a pass on the grass. Into P1. Fantastic. Yeah, Team Wreckham are at the crossover, chat. Ow! Yeah, we're definitely at the crossover. That's not ideal. Almost got turned there by one of the V-cards.
Take it easy on the car. We can't sustain this level of damage.
Don't get done for speeding. That was close. Oh, come on. The team told me I need to pit. No idea why we can't afford any lights either down at the Ferrari garage, but there we are. In towards the final few corners, though. One more lap of the Belgian Grand Prix. And, well, like I said, I think since Monaco, really do seem to have turned a page inside this series. After disappointment in the sprint, I thought we could have won both races this weekend, but Sadly, EA's RNG decided it was not going to be my day. At least on the Saturday sprint. Sunday Grand Prix, though, from the back of the field. Well, it hasn't really been much of a struggle, has it? The AI completely botched their strategy once again. And a bit like Austria, the gap is probably much, much bigger than it ever should have been as we come towards the checkered flag, though. Esteban Ocon, definitely one of the stars of this Grand Prix, though, still up in that third place. Battled for the lead early on. Didn't quite get given as good a strategy as Oscar Piastri. He's also in a Haas going up against a McLaren car as well, so, you know, there is that ever so slight inconvenience. Where Oscar is about to finish on the podium, I might be able to put a lap on his teammate. But 44 laps around the Belgian Grand Prix, and it looks like today, just like it did in 2024, it is going to go the way of LH44. Of course, that Grand Prix is still technically, of course, the last one he's won in Formula 1. But of course, if Juan could only win one in Formula 1 1 year, then Juan would want to win in round 1. Juan? I don't know. Out of the final few corners, though, here of the Belgian Grand Prix, will Ollie Behrman get out of the way? Will Esteban Ocon hang on for the podium? So many questions left to be unanswered. But in towards the final couple of turns, Behrman clearly doesn't fancy doing another lap around this venue. It has been a tough old race today for some, but not for us. Out of the final corner, we will take it. Well, there we are then. For just the second time in Formula 1 history, the driver that wins the Grand Prix on Sunday doesn't pick up the most points from the weekend. Let me know where that has happened before in Formula 1. But we will claim the dub after the disappointment in the sprint race. 36 seconds clear of Oscar Piastri. Esteban Ocon hangs on for a brilliant podium ahead of Lando Norris and Alex Albon, with Tsunoda, Russell, Alonso, Sainz and Hülkenberg rounding out your top 10 there. Gasly in 11th, ahead of Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Ollie Behrman a lap down alongside Lance Stroll, Jack Doohan, Liam Lawson and Gabriel Bortoleto, with two heavy hitters of Verstappen and Leclerc both failing to see the checkered flag. What does that do to our World Championship? Well, it means now we are 15 points back behind Lando Norris. And then there is a big gap back to Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen as Oscar Piastri and Tsunoda both close back in on those two. Russell still in 7th ahead of Alonso, Sainz and Esteban Ocon. Leapfrogs his way up into 10th place as well with that podium finish. Still just Bortoleto and Hadjar yet to score a point. Constructors-wise, McLaren now at the top of the table. 2 points, though, ahead of Ferrari. So that is all definitely still to play for. Red Bull in 3rd ahead of Mercedes. Aston Martin ahead of Williams. Haas now comfortably ahead of Alpine with VCarb and Kick Sauber. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon ready for the Hungarian Grand Prix.